just September gone, in the space of a week, I had 3 friends who committed suicide. It was just there's no jobs, no hope for them. They just gave up, and it's just happening a lot. Like from the 1st to the 6th of the first week of January 2013, there was 1 suicide a day in Ireland. Do you know, that's just, there's something gone wrong.
A lot of young people?
Yeah, a lot of young people. Like in Kerry alone, like that was only 3 friends that I knew, but there's a lot more, it's happening a lot more there. Do you know, there would have been, how many? Kerry.
Coroner went public.
Yeah, it's just a massive problem there at the moment, but I can see why. Do you know, I spent 4 years in college. I came out of college. I was looking forward to starting working, going away with my friends and starting my life. And I came out to try and find work. I got work all right in a part-time job in a bar, but then I had to sign on because there was nothing else. I tried. I got in contact with local entrepreneurs. I did everything I could not get work. So my only option now is I've decided I have to immigrate.
So where are you going?
I'm going to Australia. Yeah, it's the only option I have at the moment. My sister's gone. 2 of my cousins are gone. Everyone's leaving, so my uncle's gone. Yeah.
And do you mind to go, or would you have liked to stay in Ireland?
But I always wanted to go. But when I was thinking of going, it was for a year, and I'd come back again. But I'm leaving now, and looking at the state of Ireland it is at the moment, and the leadership that we have, I don't know when I'll ever be able to come back. That's my problem.
Or maybe you come never back.
Even if I do come back, Australia, they're saying now, that it's tougher to get visas for Australia. I can only really stay there 2 years if I don't get sponsored. So I might actually have to come back and sign back on, and my life is still in limbo. So they really need to start focusing on the Irish economy, getting it back on track. Do you know, the job creation, they keep trying. Yeah, they keep pouring money into the banks. They're taking money. It's pretty simple. They're taking money off the people. Like, I was reading a thing the last day where the top of 1% of society in Ireland, they spend like 8% in VAT, whereas the lower income people spend 20% in VAT. So we actually spend more in the local economy, and we're the people they're taking money off. So if you think about that logically, they're taking money off the people who spend more in the economy, which is going to destroy the economy. So, which is going to take away jobs, which is going to cost them more because it's more people signing on. Do you know, so it just, they're going around in a circle, they're getting nowhere, and they keep talking about green shoots and how there is jobs. Like, they talk about the internships. I could go on an internship. There's very few around at the moment, and if I was to go on one, it'd be about 20 miles from where I live, so it'd cost me more money I don't have. And you go on the internship, and I'd spend 6 months on an internship, and there's no job. Do you know?
No perspective.
Okay, it'll get me off the unemployment, and it'll reduce the unemployment figure. Europe came out and said they've actually, our unemployment figure was 14%, but Europe came out and said it's actually standing at 23%. So, do you know, it's, I think people need knowledge is what's lacking here. You know, I even noticed with my own friends, there's not an interest in it. We never had to be interested in it, and people are still kind of, my age group are still, yeah, it's still kind of like, you know, things will turn around, but they don't know the details.
They actually believe that?
Yeah, a lot of them do. They're just picking up the paper, and they, like, even I remember before the presidential election, it was whoever was popular in the media is who the friends in college were going to vote for. So they didn't actually even know who was really running, but oh, this guy's popular in the newspaper. Nothing against that, like, you know, they just didn't have an interest in it. But I think now we're in such tough times that my generation really need to start paying attention to what's going on. Like, it was after that deal, I watched that night, the IBRC deal, that was just blatant corruption right in front of my eyes. And I said, that is it. I'm not staying here. I'd love to stay here and fight and manage away. What's the point? People living in Dublin, how many was there? There was only about 6 standing outside the Dáil that night when they were signing away billions onto, when I'm hitting retirement, we're going to be landed with agency to agency private banking debt. That if they defaulted on it, it was Michael Taft, an economist, said it on a local show we have, Vincent Brown. He said if they actually defaulted on it, it probably wouldn't have had any effect on the bailout because it was agency to agency debt. It wasn't part of the agreement. It was just a private debt, like. So I just think people need to wake up and get into the detail of it. Don't just rely on the media, because our media is, a lot of it, there is some good media here, but a lot of it is just all lies, spin, complete spin. They're not giving people the true facts. They're taking the facts and they're twisting them to make it sound a bit better and make it sound like we'd no other option. There is options, there is alternatives. They don't.
Iceland.
Yeah, Iceland. You should look. Iceland is the prime example. Do you know, just they weren't too. What was it? They're not too big to fail. They're too big to save. That's the way the banks were in Ireland. Like.
What did you study?
Business management for 4 years.
And when did you start that study?
I started in 2008 and I finished June just gone.
And that was just before the crash. What was your perspective then? What did you expect to happen?
Well, when I first started, I can remember going about looking into doing this course, and where my college is, there's a technology park close by, and there's loads of small businesses there. So we were kind of told, a large percentage of you, if you get high enough marks, there'll actually be work in the technology park for you straight away when you're finished. So we then slowly, we started hearing the headlines and things started turning around. So then I knew, we're going to have to start making other plans here, because even there was businesses closing over there, and everything then just flipped. And there was people said to me, why didn't you change your course and do something else? But what else would I do? It's got to the point now where it's every sector.
Engineering's gone.
Yeah.
My nephew, your cousin's quantity surveying. He came out the year before you.
And he's over in Australia now, in Melbourne. My sister with the wildlife biology. I have another cousin, she was teaching, primary teaching, and she's gone as well. So
my other nephew.
Just ripping families apart.
Yeah, like my sister's gone, and I'm going to be leaving now, and that's. I know I'll have my sister over there, but I was thinking about small little things like, my brother's turning 18, I'd be very close with him. I'm going to miss his 18. Who knows how long people have left, and I'll miss 2 years of my mom's life, my dad's life. My little brothers will be a lot older by the time I get home, my cousins. So it's kind of hard when you think about it like that, especially when you don't know when you're going to be coming back. That's the hardest part about it.
It is, in a sense, it's a very typical Irish story. Did you ever thought you would be in the footsteps of your grandparents, great-grandparents?
No, I never imagined this. Never imagined this. I thought I'd go away and travel, maybe go to Australia, even go away somewhere else for a year. But it's just the uncertainty of it, And I'm not going. I'm not going for fun. I'm going, and it's kind of out of necessity. Yeah. So if I stay here, what is it? What's here for me? Work in the bar part time for another few years, not have any money, no chances of even getting a house, starting a family, things like that. You have to think about. So.
How old are you now?
I'm only 22, but who knows how long this is going to last. Looking at the figures and things that I've been looking at, I think we're in for a long road, like.
Yeah.
So it's time to start making plans to begin my life. I can't hang around in limbo anymore.